Hey guys, real quick before this Rant Show starts, I just wanted to mention one thing to you guys, if you'll, indulge me. As most of you have probably already heard by now, or know by now at the very least, I'm pretty sure most of you have heard it by now, about the devastation that has happened due to the Australian wildfires. Millions upon, just to oversimplify it, even though I hate using that word, millions upon millions of acres completely burned, a forest burned to the ground. And I'm not joking when I say that. For those of you who haven't been up to date on what exactly the devastation that the fires have caused. Like I said though, millions upon millions of acres completely burned to the ground. Either millions upon hundreds of animals, either their homes completely gone or sadly dead themselves. Like when I say that these fires have caused much devastation, I'm not kidding. All you have to do is just watch half of the videos or read some of the articles that are up about what these fires have caused. And I know not as many people are talking about it now as, they did when it first happened or shortly thereafter, but much work is still need to be done to help the wildlife, the people battling these fires, the people that have battled these fires, and just the general help that Australia needs right now. It's still, like I said, much work needs to be done, and they still need our help during this dire and crucial time. Just because not everyone's talking about it now does not mean that it's all stopped and it's all hunky-dory. It could be further from the fucking truth. So if all of you watching this video could do me a solid, below I am going to leave a link to a donation page called stopthefire.gg. That is a donation page where all the money and all the proceeds will be going to the NSW Royal Fire Service and 13 other Australian charities that are completely dedicated to helping Australia during these fires and, helping with the devastation afterwards. Like I said, there will be a link to Stop the Fire GG, the donation page down below. It is a charity organization that all the proceeds, all the money are going to, like I said, the NSW Royal Fire Service, one of the fire companies that have been battling the flames in Australia. And like I said, 13 other great charities that are all helping out during and just in general helping out the devastation that these fires are causing. So if any of you have any money you can donate, even if it's only $1, every cent counts, guys. But please, like I said, and I know I'm a broken record, just because not everyone's talking about it now doesn't mean everything's fine. Because everything is still not fine. So please, if you have any money you can donate, even if it's only $1, please click on the donation link below. Like I said, it's stopthefire.gg. All the money donated on that donation page is going to the NSW Royal Fire Service and 13 other great charities that are helping out with the devastation that these fires have caused in Australia. Please donate what you can, because they still need a lot more help. The animals, the country, the forest, they need your help still. So please donate if you can using the donation link down below. Even if it's only $1, every cent counts. Please donate if you can. That being said, let's dive into the Rant Show. Thank you for your time.
Turn me up, so. Whoa, whoa. Turn me up, so.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright guys, welcome to another edition of the Rant Show. I'm as always your host for this Rant Show, none other than N7X Karu. And what I actually wanted to talk about / rant about this episode is I hope, especially with the new systems, supposedly dropping, towards the end of this year. We'll see if they keep on track with that time schedule. Even though PlayStation hasn't fully released what their new system looks like, only Xbox has so far. There's something I'm hoping happens, and something I hope happens with video games in general. Now, this is just me personally speaking. I'm only speaking for myself here, although I'm sure there's some that at least, feel the same way I do. At least some. But especially after the new systems drop later on this year, I'm hoping more games like Mass Effect start coming out. I'm not talking like, what's the word? Like, space adventure type video games. I'm not talking, like that total sort of genre. I'm talking about like the choice-based RPG style of game. This is one of the things that I absolutely loved about Mass Effect. And yes, I know, I'm not going to talk about Andromeda again, but just let me mention here briefly. I know not everyone was a fan of Andromeda, and yes, it could have been better, but I'm including Andromeda in this. And when I say the Mass Effect franchise, the one thing I loved about the Mass Effect franchise is the fact that choices you made in the games mattered. It affected the games, all except for Andromeda. It affected what happened in the first 3 games. The choices you make in Andromeda affected what happened throughout the game itself. I love games like that. That's the one reason why I also love playing Detroit Become Human, because the choices you made mattered. What you did mattered later on in the game. I love games like that, and in my humble opinion, there isn't a lot of them out there. A lot of them choice-based, RPG style games. I'm not saying it has to be, when I say Mass Effect, like I said, I'm not saying it should, I'm not saying it should be, space themed, or whatever. It could be Wild Western themed, or modern day themed, or near future themed, or, in the distant past themed. Like, I don't care as long as it has a good story, pretty much. But I wish there were more games like Mass Effect and Detroit Become Human out there. Where, because and like I said, this is just me speaking. This is my own personal preference, although I'm sure there are others that feel the same way. How many? I don't know, but I'm sure there are others that feel the same way. But I do wish that there were more games out there like Mass Effect. Because the only games that I can think of that are like Mass Effect, is, like I said, the Mass Effect, so far, is, like I said, the Mass Effect franchise, Detroit Become Human, obviously. I heard Cyberpunk 2077 is supposed to be, choice-based and, choices you make matter type game, which I'm really looking forward to. And, by the way, I don't care that they pushed back the date again. Like many other YouTubers have said on Twitter already, listen, I don't care if you push back the date again, because that means you're making sure shit's done right and there is less bugs before you release it. I have no problem with that. I can fucking wait. Just make sure the game's done right, and if you have to push back the date just to make sure of that, I have no problem with that. What, that being said, so I just had to get that out there. Just, I saw some people pitching and saying, no, this is like the 3rd time you push the game back, I want it now. Well, do you want a shitty ass game? I don't think so. So let them do what they have to do to make sure the game's done right. Sorry, getting off subject. But I want more games like Mass Effect and Detroit Become Human. Like I said, as far as my recollection can remember, and someone in the comments below can correct me if I'm wrong, but the only other games that I can think of that were like that in recent-ish history was, obviously, Detroit Become Human. Cyberpunk 2077 is supposed to be something like that. Obviously, the Mass Effect franchise. The other choice-based games that BioWare made before that, of course, Knights of the Old Republic 1, 2, and so on. And there was an older choice-based game that BioWare made before that, but that was even before Knights of the Old Republic, so it's an older game. But those are the only ones I can remember. The only games like that. But like I said, if I'm wrong in this and there are other games out there that are like that, please let me know in the comments below because I'd love to check them out. But those are the only ones that I know that are like, you know, the RPG, choice-based, you know, with the choices you make matter type games. And I love games like that. I just wish there were more out there. So I'm really fucking hoping that, especially after the new systems drop, that there are more games like that. Because with all the stuff that these new systems are, especially with the new systems, with all the stuff that these new systems are supposed to be offering, with, you know, graphics and everything, I just gotta be great to play a game like that and those sort of type, you know, settings and graphics and whatnot with the new systems. So especially, like I said, when the new systems drop, I would love to see a lot more games like that. But even now, with the new systems we have, with the systems we have now, you know, the Xbox One and the PS4 and even the Switch, like, I wish there were more games out like this. You know, the choice-based style RPG, you know, choices you make matter type games, because I love games like that. I know there are other people out there that love games like that. And I just wish there were more out there. And like I said, if there are more out there, and besides the one I just mentioned, please let me know in the comments below, because as far as I know, those are the only ones I know of. But if there are more, whether it be for, you know, any system or PC, let me know, because personally, I would love to play them myself. But as far as I know, those are the only ones. I could be forgetting like one or two, but those are pretty much the only ones that I know of. That I know of, anyway. And I just wish there were more games like that out there, because, you know, we have so many, Battle Royale games. And I'm not hating on these games, by the way. Just let me say that up front. But we already have so many Battle Royale games out there. We already have, you know, the FPS shooters like Call of Duty, so many different versions of that, and what have you. But there's so limited versions of the choice-based RPG style games. And I just wish, you know, granted, those type of games, I'm not saying, you know, the other games genres out there don't take time to make too, but I understand that the type of game I'm talking about, it takes time to make, so it's not like you can pop one out every month. But I just wish there were more out there. Because I love those type of games. There are people out there besides me that I know appreciate those type of games as well. And I just wish more video game companies made those type of games. So I'm hoping that more do in the future, especially when the new systems drop. I'm crossing my fingers hoping. And if any video game company out there, I doubt any major video game company out there is watching this, but if any video game company out there, sorry, my dog just hit my mic, is watching this, please, 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 make more games like this, because there is a market for them, and people want to fucking play them. So especially when the new systems drop, and I know I'm a broken record at this point, especially when the new game systems drop, please start producing more games like this, because like I said, people want to play them. There is a market for them. Not everyone wants to play, you know, the next VR game out there. There is a genre, there is a market for them, so please start making more. I want more games like that. That's all I'm saying. I just want more games like that. But yeah, believe it or not, that's all I want to talk about. I do want to say one other thing, and I know what I'm about to say next might piss some people off, so, you know, big, you know, fucking warning right here. This pisses you off, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna fucking say it. Disney, do me a favor. You think you would have learned your lesson from, you know, your little Suicide Squad debacle when, you know, you fired your director because he was edgy, and then you got some serious backlash for it? You think you would have learned from that? But now you're saying that Johnny Depp is no longer going to be included any other of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise because of what he supposedly did. Well, if you haven't been paying attention to the news recently, and by the way, I just want to say this up front, back when the whole abuse thing with Johnny Depp thing happened with him and now his ex-wife, I forget her name because frankly, at this point I don't give, no, I'm not going to say it because it'll be rude. But him and his ex-wife, I forget her name off the top of my head to be honest. But, I forget her name off the top of my head to be honest. But, I was one, I won't say, I'm not like, I'm sure there are other people out there that thought this wouldn't happen. But when the accusations first started coming out about Johnny Depp being abusing his wife. Now, granted, I'm just a fan of Johnny Depp. I had no proof at the time pointing out otherwise of what he's probably done. But even when the accusations first started coming out, I had a few doubts in my mind that they were actually true. You know, that he's actually abusing her. So I just want to say that first and foremost. I had my doubts about that. Even though, yes, any accusation of any sort of abuse should be taken seriously. I'll say that right off the fucking bat. Any accusation should be taken seriously. But on a side note, I do think for those that, you know, do file for false abuse, I guess is the word for it. If it's proven that the abuse is false and that they're just doing it to get at their spouse or whoever, I also think that they should be punished. I think that they should receive the punishment that the person that they filed abuse against would have gotten if it were true. I'm just saying. Because when you file, an abuse charge, I forget what the technical term for it is, but when you file an abuse charge against someone, that can ruin their lives. Which, you know, granted, they do fucking deserve if they actually did it. But if you file an abuse charge against someone, and it's not true, you just ruined their fucking lives. So I think, to the fullest extent of the law, the person who filed that false abuse charge should get what's fucking coming to them. With that being said, though, sorry, getting off track, but I wanted to make this last point short as possible, just I wanted to get this off my chest. But like I said, when the first, you know, accusations against Johnny Depp being an abuser to his now ex-wife came out, I had my doubts. Granted, I didn't know the man. I was just a fan of Johnny Depp. But I've read articles about him. I've seen interviews of people, other actors, and other people who knew him talking about him. So when the accusations against him first came out, I had my doubts. I wanted to take her seriously, but, you know, I had my doubts. I'm not afraid of them. I had my doubts. But now, more recently, that audio was leaked. And I'm sorry, she can deny all she wants that she's not the one that let that video leak that she took on her phone of Johnny Depp throwing that, what was it, a wine bottle against the wall. But if what people are saying are true, that just recently, before that video was taken, he lost his mother and all this other shit with people like his agents, you know, screwing him over with money and whatnot, all happened. I'm sorry, if all that shit happened on top of my mother dying, I would have been a little stressed out myself. I would have been flipping 3 kinds of shit too. So do I blame the man for going a little ballistic, considering, and then, like I said, if what I've been reading is true, if all that stuff happened to him before that video was taken, I'd be a little wanting to let off some steam too. But, and like I said, I seriously doubt that she had she had, what's the word? that she had no... God, I'm having a brain fart now. That she had no involvement in that video she took on her phone of him throwing that wine bottle against the wall. That she had no involvement of that getting out. Like, I find that very fucking hard. My guess, and this is just my guess, I could be wrong on this, I'm just saying that up fucking front. But my guess, and I could be wrong about this, but my guess is that she thought that video of him flipping out would help in some way, that once it got out, to prove that he was unstable. And see, this is the type of man he is. This is what type of man abuses me. But now, there's more and more evidence apparently coming out that it's actually her that's abusing him. Now, getting back to what I was saying at the beginning of this. Disney, you realize, and don't try and fucking say that you didn't drop Johnny Depp from any other further, Pirates of the Caribbean franchise because of this. Because everyone knows that's why you did. Now, I don't know if Disney came out right and said that, hey, we're not going to cast him in any future Pirates of the Caribbean movies because of these accusations against him. I don't say fully outright come and said that, but we all know that's why they did. But you realize, Disney, the royal fuck-up you just caused, if it actually fully comes out and is proven that it was her abusing him. Because you just banned the man from ever being Jack Sparrow again. You banned the man from ever being in any Pirates of the Caribbean movie again. And I can guarantee, especially if he's proven innocent, that any future Pirates of the Caribbean movie that you try and make without him in it are gonna flop. If you try and reboot it, it's gonna flop. Because let's face it, most big movie franchises that people try to reboot later on, they flop. They fucking flop regardless. If you try to recast Jack Sparrow with a different actor, it's gonna flop. If you try and cast Pirates of the Caribbean without Jack Sparrow, no offense to any of the actors and actresses in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. All amazing people, all amazing actors. And I'm not saying Johnny Depp is the sole reason why the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise was successful. But to have Pirates of the Caribbean without Jack Sparrow, the movie's gonna flop. And all I'm saying, Disney, is that maybe you should have actually waited for more information to come out before you made the decision to pretty much ban Johnny Depp from ever being in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie again. Just maybe waited a little longer, because, like I said, looking now, more information's coming out that maybe, just maybe, Johnny Depp was the person that was actually being abused instead of his ex-wife. I mean, hell, just look at it recently. Actors, his own other ex-wives, pretty much every ex-wife he's had besides her has came out and said that they never known him to be abusive, that he's always been a kind and gentle soul. Hell, his other ex-wives are even going on Twitter and talking to reporters saying this. His other ex-wives, she is literally the only one. You don't find that suspicious at all? Now, granted, I'm not saying that she's not telling the truth. I'm not saying that. And if she is proven that she is telling the truth, then, justice will have its due. Alright? But and other people on YouTube have talked about this already. The Quartering talked about this. Look, DeFranco talked about this. And others. But there is a real problem happening when people file false accusations of abuse. Because then what's the word for it? Because then that loses the legitimacy of when others try and file for abuse. Because then more people become, almost dismissive, wondering, well, are they lying? Are they not lying? I don't know, because this happened to this person, and that was proven to be false. And this happened to this person, that proved to be false. So are they lying when they're filing for this? the legitimacy of when others file for actual abuse is hurt when shit like this happens. So before anyone started flipping the gun on Johnny Depp, so to speak, I honestly think they should have waited for more evidence to come out. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have taken his ex-wife seriously, and the accusation seriously, but the shitstorm that Johnny Depp received after these accusations were made public pretty much hurt the man financially, mentally. Because as soon as his ex-wife first made the accusations of the abuse, it was like a beetle to dung. People were just attracted to it and just started just focusing on the man. And now it looks like that what she's been saying might actually be false. But the damage is already fucking done. Disney already dropped him from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. The man's been through so much fucking stress. I mean, just watch some of the fucking shit about him on the fucking internet. More people, in my opinion, and I'm going several different directions with this topic, I apologize. But my whole I have three main points. We'll put down the three main points with this. And once again, I'm going to say up front, I'm not saying that her accusations against Depp should not have been taken seriously, because they should have. But I am saying that the shitstorm that Johnny Depp received after those accusations were made shouldn't have happened. Because anything had yet to be proven. The accusations should have been taken seriously, but the shitstorm that Johnny Depp received afterwards should not have happened until shit was actually proven. I just wanted that to be said. But my three main points that I wanted to make with this whole rant, because like I said, I just went like 5 different fucking directions, so I apologize. I know I'm probably going to catch some heat for all the shit I'm saying. But it's what I feel, it's my Rant Show, so I'm going to talk about it. If it is actually proven that Johnny Depp was the one being abused, and his ex-wife is the actual abuser, then the man, regardless, is still fucked. Because so many people jumped the gun so quick after the accusations were made, it caused him undue stress. It caused him to lose God knows how much money with how much business the man could have had and movies he could have been in if this didn't happen. If people didn't jump the gun. And thirdly, taco down. And thirdly, Disney, I think you pulled another Guardians of the Galaxy with this. Because you yourselves jumped the gun on this. You banned the man from doing any other further Pirates of the Caribbean movies. When Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow, is one of the main characters in the franchise. You jumped the gun before anything was actually physically proven. And I almost hate to say this, but if people are going to mention, the photos being the only evidence of a supposed bruised eye and whatnot, You realize how easy that shit, especially with technology nowadays, you realize how easy that shit can be faked? Like I said, I went in like several different directions with this part of the rant. But my whole main point, and the thing I wanted to get across, is I really think people seriously jumped the gun when the accusations against Johnny Depp came out. Like I said, his wife should have been taken seriously. Her accusations should have been taken seriously. But at the same time, I do not think, like, any accusations of that magnitude should be taken seriously. But I do not think, until it is physically proven that someone did what they did, that they should not receive the shitstorm that they received like Johnny Depp did. Being banned from movies. And any other future business they might have had financially. It caused the man undue... If he's actually proven innocent. It caused the man undue stress. It caused him to lose things that could have, paid him ass loads of money. So he's losing out on money. And movie companies are dropping him. And I don't think in any situation, until something is actually proven, a person should receive the shitstorm that like he received until it's proven. Things should be taken seriously and accusations should be taken seriously. But until shit is proven, people should not receive the shitstorm they received like Johnny Depp did until it's proven. Until it's proven. Because accusations like that, if they're even after they're proven false, can cause so much harm to a person, financially and mentally, that there is no recouping from it. Even after someone is proven innocent and the accusations are false. Because the damage is already fucking done at that point. Like I said, I know I've said this like 10 times already. Any accusations of any abuse should be taken seriously. But the shitstorm, and that's what I'm calling it, the shitstorm that the supposed abuser receives should wait till they're actually proven as the abuser. Because like I said, when shit is proven false and the accuser is lying, and they're actually, after they're proven to have lied, the damage is already done at that point. Because the person who is actually proven not to be the abuser, the damage is already done to them, to the reputation, to everything. The damage is already done. Because as soon as people hear that someone's an abuser, they jump like beetles to dung. They hop on it and just start going after the person. And then I don't think that's right. Especially because of cases where the abuser is actually proven not to be an abuser, and that the person making the accusations has proved to have been lying. Because the damage that can be done to the person being accused of doing something can sometimes be irreparable and not be able to be fixed even after they're proven innocent. And like I said at the beginning of this part of the rant, I also do think that if the accuser is proven to be lying, they should, just like the abuser would, if they were proven to actually be abusing someone, the accuser, if they are proved to be lying, should also face the same full extent of the law if they are. Because accusations like that could ruin a person's life. But which, like I said already, if they're actually proven to be an abuser, then, you know, they fucking deserve it. But if they're not, then that's why people need to wait until things are actually proven before the quote-unquote damage is done. With that being said, guys, though, I'm going to leave it off there. I'll see you guys later. Please remember, guys, one final time that there will be a link for Stop the Fire GG down below. Of course, that is the donation page that is helping out with the Australian wildfires. And just like I said at the beginning of before this Rant Show started, even though people are not talking about it as much, it doesn't mean that help still doesn't need to be done. So please, if you have any money, you can donate, even if it's only $1. Link for the donation page will be down below. All the money is going to NSW Royal Fire Service and 13 other wonderful charities that are helping out Australia during this dire time. Please donate if you can. Once again, link for that will be down below. I'll see you guys next time, as always, and forever.